Today's instructional is on the duck under. I'm gonna go over the fundamentals of a duck under, some different ways to shoot the duck under, and different ways to finish the duck under. So let's get right into it. So we're gonna start off with, what is a duck under? A duck under is when you duck your body underneath the armpit. So your head goes right underneath the armpit, just like that, and you look to get a takedown. Now, your other hand, normally you'll see three different things happen with your other hand. So we'll turn this way. Say I'm ducking under this opposite armpit. Sometimes you'll see people post their hand, so they'll post and pull through here. Sometimes you'll see people attack almost the hip like a double leg, so they'll go here, all right? And sometimes you'll see them keep a controlled tie on the opposite side, here. So that's what I would define as a duck under. Some people might think a duck under is, attacking a high crotch here. I'm gonna leave that out of this tutorial because I just think that's a setup to a high crotch. I think the duck under is the right hand's either gonna post, it's gonna attack the hip, or it's going to keep the tie up on the opposite side. So that's what I define as a duck under. Now let's get into the next section. Here's three key important details of the duck under. First thing you're gonna wanna do is you want a very drastic level change. In order to get underneath this person's armpit, you have to drop your level very quickly. So you'll see a lot of people, which I'm gonna go into detail later on, do double knee drops where they, boom, they drop here. So the very big level change, which just means I'm high and I'm dropping to low, okay? Another thing that's key is people try to get their head to the back of the person's tricep. So the back of my neck will be on the back of the tricep. So when I come here, I want my head to get here so it blocks this arm from retracting back. If my head doesn't get there, he'll be able to bring his arm back and block me from getting the takedown. Another detail with the head that I've seen a lot of wrestlers use, especially Mark Hall, is they actually duck their head underneath. So here's what I mean. When they go for this level change, their head will drop down and then it will come up and through. So the head is actually swiveling like down and then up and through to that position where it's blocking the tricep just like that. Now for setups. Setups are the same for every single shot. It's push, pulls, and fakes. So when setting up your duck under, you can push into them. When they push back, that's a good opportunity to go. You can pull them when they pop up, good opportunity to go. And you can use misdirection where you fake on one leg and duck the opposite way. Great thing with a fake, not only does it disguise the duck, but a fake a lot of times gets them to lean on you. So when I fake on this leg, he'll be back and he'll kind of be leaning into me here so I can duck that side. You need good pressure when hitting the duck. So that's why if they're not pushing back into you, a fake will cause them to down block and them to lean into you just because they're stepping their leg back and their upper body ends up leaning into you just like that. Another key detail with the duck under, you want to be close to the body. If I go to duck under, we'll come over here. If I go to duck under and I'm far away from the body, it's going to give him enough time to circle and face me. So with these ducks, try to be close to the body here so you can pivot and get your takedown. Now, you can either hit a duck with your head on the same side or your head on the opposite side. If your head is on the opposite side, it benefits for misdirections and it gives you more space. Here's what I mean. If my head is on the opposite side of the duck, so my head's here and I'm gonna duck this other armpit, it's great to set up your misdirection ducks because your head's over on this side, so when you step here, it's very threatening because your head's over there, your body's over there, and it makes the misdirection duck very easy to hit. Another thing that's great about having your head on the opposite side is you do have more space to get your head through here. A lot of times when you duck, if your head's on the same side, it's hard to get your head through this space, okay? So when you bring your head to the opposite side, it's actually easier to get your head underneath the body like that. Now, if you do the duck with your head on the same side, that also has some benefits. One, you're closer to the side you're ducking, so you don't have to travel as far. So if you're on this side, all I gotta do is just get right here, boom, right? If your head's on the other side, you have a further distance to travel, okay? Another thing with this duck, if your head's on the same side, you really got to open up the space. Like I said, if your head's over here, it's hard to get this space open. So you really got to open that arm up, whether you're here, whether you're on elbow, you've got to get that space opened up to get your head underneath the armpit. Two other things you see with the head on the same side is you might need a more drastic level change. You might need to drop a lot lower here to get underneath that armpit because he has more space. Another thing you'll see quite often when your head's on the same side is you'll have an opposite side tie, we'll say it's just double inside tie, and you'll see the person pulling with this opposite tie very hard. Whether it's here or collar tie, you'll see them ducking with their head on the same side and pulling with this arm very hard. So those are some of the differences you'll see when the head's on one side versus the other side. Now there's 3 different penetration steps that are most commonly used for a duck under. The first one is an outside step. So an outside step is where I step my back leg forwards and drop to my right knee in this case. So I'm here, I'm gonna step my back leg forwards and drop to my right knee like this. Now you don't always have to step your back leg forward. So if I'm on this side and my right leg's forward, I could step my right leg forward here and drop to my back knee. All it is just stepping one leg forward and dropping to your other knee, okay? So if I'm here, again, I can do my back leg for this one, step, drop to knee, and then a lot of times your knee and your hips are gonna be back like this, so you have to shoot your hips forward after, okay? So you'll see that, like an outside step, boom, my chest is low too. So when I step, my chest is low, kind of over top of my thigh, and then I'll pop it up to make sure my posture's in the correct positioning when I'm hitting that technique. Another penetration you'll see is a double knee drop, right? I'm here, I'm sliding to both knees here, okay? You'll see a big pull with that. So almost like maybe it's a baseball slide or something, I don't know. Or a soccer slide after you scored a goal.
Guitar slide?
Yeah, guitar slide. I'm shooting my knees through like this and pulling hard, okay? Last one you'll see is called a boot scoot. It's where you post one hand and fall to your hip. Like I said, you need drastic level changes in your duck unders, and the most drastic level change would be a boot scoot where you're coming all the way to your hip, okay? So all you do with a boot scoot is whatever side you're gonna duck, you'll just post one hand, you'll slide your hips through, and then you'll recover to the duck under. Show that one time from this angle. So if I'm here, I would just post and come to my hip, then bounce back up and get the takedown. The last 2 things I want to touch on for the fundamentals of the duck under is 1, you must clear your opponent's thumb block. So if I want to duck under any side, the thumb block must be cleared. If I open and try to go, I'm going to get stuck. Now, how do we clear a thumb block? All I'm going to do is just pull the arm into me and push my bicep into him. So I'm pulling with this hand and pushing in like this. My shoulder, my arm's coming in, forcing him to go to my elbow. Same thing if I was on elbow control, I pull and push my shoulder forwards to break that thumb block. So if you're preparing yourself for a duck and you feel a thumb block here, make sure you pull that in before ducking the opposite side. Last thing I want to talk about is how you open your chest and shoulders a lot of times when you're hitting your duck. So when you go to these ducks, you not only, especially when your head's on the same side, so when your head's on the same side, when you open up, you're opening up wide. Your chest is coming through, you're opening your shoulders, and then you're pivoting around. And that's most common for the head being on the same side. You big open, and then cut that corner on your opponent. Now we're gonna go into specific duck unders from different tie-ups using some of the fundamentals we talked about earlier. First tie-up we can do our duck unders from is double inside tie. So when I'm in the double inside tie, I can hit them from either my head being on the same side or the opposite side. My partner has double elbows. I have all my fingers wrapped around his tricep. Now, again, you can go from either side. I'll show it a couple times from each. First, I'm gonna do it with my head on the opposite side. So my head's on the opposite side. I'm pulling these triceps in tight. Let's start with our setup, right? We got push, pulls, and fake. So I can push into them a little bit. I feel them pushing back. Now is my opportunity to duck. A very common way to duck from this position is a misdirection. So I step to one side and open up the arm, and then I come back the opposite side here. Most of the time with the tricep or with the double inside tie, you'll keep one inside tie and pull down and pivot on top, keeping the arm like this. So when that head's on the opposite side, I always like to look out for those misdirections. So we're here. I'm going to duck his right side. So I build some pressure up right for the setup. I'm going to step one way, open that tricep up, drop to my right knee, and pull with both hands as my left elbow comes to my side, and then I pivot on top. So my left arm has to come to my side in most of these techniques when I'm ducking that side, because I don't want it to get caught, right? So if I come here and my arm gets caught, I don't want to be stuck in that position. So when I'm ducking through this position, my elbow drops to here, right? And then from here, I'm quickly pivoting and pulling down on the tricep. Now, if my head's on the same side, what you might see is, what are some of the tips we said? I've got to open up higher. I've also got to maybe hit a more drastic level change, so I may drop to both knees. So I'm building pressure up here. All right, I feel the duck under coming. I'm going to drop to both knees, big pull with both hands, and then pivot quickly to get on top. Show you guys that one again. So I'm here, I'm building some pressure up. You can still fake, you can still misdirection. I can still kind of step here, pull here, and pivot. Next type we can do our duck under from is inside tie, elbow tie. This one's very similar to double inside tie. All I'd have is an elbow tie on the opposite side I'm ducking to. So in this case, my head's gonna be on the opposite side or the same side of the inside tie. So inside tie, head's on the same side. I have elbow tie on the opposite side. All right, we can use that same misdirection we talked about where we're building some pressure up. I step one way, and then I'm just opening up this elbow. Everything's the same, dropping through and circling on top. We're gonna go into more detail at the end about all the finishes, so make sure you stay tuned to see the different ways we can finish these duck unders, okay? Again, I'm here, inside tie, my head goes to the same side, I control the elbow on the opposite side. Remember, if he has a thumb block, make sure you break that thumb block, build some pressure up, okay? You can misdirection, right? We can step one way, open the elbow up, big level change and pull, and then cover on top, just like that. The next one is just from an elbow tie. So if I have an elbow tie on one side, I can actually duck to this side. All I've got to do is open this armpit up, but again, because I'm on the same side, you'll see a very big level change on these. All right, all I'm gonna do is take my left hand, grab right above his elbow, pull in. I'll use a thumb block on the opposite side to build some pressure up if I need to. And then when I go, I open up big, make sure my chest opens up as I go for this. We can do outside step, we can do double knee drop, but I'm opening up big and pivoting around. You really gotta open up big with this because the elbow, your strength is matched here. So it's tough to open this elbow up a lot of times. So you have to use a lot of power to really open that up. You've really gotta get a good grip on that and rip it open and open up your chest to get this duck under. Everything can be misdirectioned, right? That's just a setup portion. I can build pressure. I could come here, boom, and then open there and pivot around. Okay, just make sure you're really opening up your chest for that elbow control duck under. Another one you can hit it from is an inside tie and an underhook. So I have an inside tie on my back with my backhand, head's on the same side as the inside tie, and I'm digging an underhook with this opposite side. All right, the reason why this is really nice is because with this underhook side, I've already cleared his arm. So when I go to pull, all I gotta do is get my head underneath his armpit, and I know I've got that duck under, okay? Again, with the inside ties, they're great, but in an inside tie, when you go, you are at risk to getting caught like this, okay? But if you get that underhook on the opposite side, right, underhook, head's on the same side as the inside tie. When I go, there's a lot less risk of you getting caught with your arms in that tough position, all right? Here, boom, okay? Again, everything with a setup, push, pulls, and fakes. I'll go from this side, right? Underhook on this side, building some pressure up. I can even, fake a single, right? Fake, boom, boom, come there. Now we're gonna do this from a lefty underhook, and then we're gonna use a misdirection. So from here, I normally post with my backhand, club, dig my underhook. You're in this underhook position. Now, it works if they have head position. It's a great technique. It also works, obviously, if you have head position, okay? A lot of times if I have head position, though, I've a lot of shots I can hit, right? I can hit singles, high crotches. But when they have head position, you're limited to a lot of your shots. But with this technique, in order to beat head position, you have to have that drastic level change, right? I have to get underneath his head. So if I come here, like maybe for like that knee pick, and then I drop, all I'm gonna do is drop my head, swivel it like we talked about in the fundamentals section, pull hard with this overhook, like I'm combing my hair. And I might have to drop both knees in this case, right? Depending on how big of a level change, you might have to drop to both knees. Pull, swivel, pull. You can collect both legs just like that as well. But it's a little misdirection, right? I can be from the inside too. I'm here, all right? I'm going like a single leg here, and then here, okay? Underhook, boom. I'm here, fake one way, boom. Pull over top, open, cover on top. Now, another great way to hit a duck under is a righty underhook, okay? I think, you could probably do it from righty or lefty. They've got head position, and I've got their wrist here, okay? This one I feel like I invented because I've never seen anybody do it before, but I'll just hit it fast speed. I'm gonna go for that ankle. He's gonna step back, and I'm gonna hit a duck under to the opposite side. So I'm gonna go here and come through there. So here's what I'm doing. I have this underhook. All right, they have maybe their right leg forward because they're a righty lead. I'm gonna post my hand right next to his foot. I'm gonna go like this, boom, okay? Once he steps back, I'm gonna then hit like almost a second penetration step. So I've hit my knee and posted, I'm then gonna do the boot scoot where I pull over and drop again. A lot of times I'll attack the legs after on that one. So go a different angle, underhook. All right, especially if he's got head position. I'm gonna step, drop to my left knee and put my hand near his foot. Boom. Then I'm gonna open this shoulder up, slide to my hip, boom, and then cover on top. Opening like this, that's the opening motion for that underhook duck under. Next duck under is from a lefty collar tie. Now we talked about beating the thumb block. A very common thing that happens when you go lefty collar tie is they thumb block. All right, so you've got to pull them into an over tie. So what you're gonna do is you're just gonna pull them in and force them to this position. So I'm gonna show you it fast once and then we'll break it down a little bit better, okay? So I'm here. One more time a little fast, then we'll break it down again. So, building pressure. All right, so this one is using an outside step. Again, I'm gonna collar tie with my back hand. I'm gonna pull in and force this over tie position. Now, from here, what I wanna do is I'm gonna step my left leg forward and I'm going to drop my chest to my left leg like this. Boom. Okay? And make sure my left hand kind of pulls and then drops to its side. So I'm here, okay? Doesn't always have to be like that, but it could be, boom, I pull in here. I could build pressure up. And as I step my left leg forward, a lot of times I'll step my right leg back just a little bit. So I'll go like this, like here, okay? And then hips come through, and I can finish double, go behind. A lot of times you'll have to finish in a leg attack on this one because you don't have a control with your opposite hand, so you can't like pull them down to the mat. But I'm here, club, pull myself in here tight so that he can't thumb block, build some pressure up, and then I'm just going to switch, almost like switch lead legs, but step, pull, and slide through there. Okay. Another thing you'll see with this one is I'm stepping here with my chest over just to get underneath, and then I'm pushing my hips through and pivoting afterwards. This can be done to the opposite side too, right? Post, I club, I pull myself in, right? I can misdirection. All these setups we talked about earlier can be used. Push, pulls, and fakes, right? I could fake here, and then obviously we can go high crotch, but with the duck unders, you're normally gonna go double, or you'll just pivot behind if they put enough pressure into you. Another thing you can do when we talked about this earlier, right, there's 3 main shots to a duck under. Outside step, double knee drop, and boot scoot. So I've seen Zahid Valencia do the double knee drop from here, right? So he's here, he clubs, and then he just pulls right into a double knee drop here and pivots, okay? Sometimes with that one, I think a lot of times with the double knee drop, you're like slingshotting yourself in like this. With the outside step, you're more moving your body to it. So again, the double knee drop, you're more slinging yourself through. Outside step, you're moving your feet, you're moving your body into that attack. Next is gonna be from an inside tie and a collar tie. So I have my inside tie, I have my collar tie. Probably the first tie up you guys learn when you're wrestling. Now all I'm gonna do with this one is just keep the collar tie as I duck with my inside tie side. So I build some pressure up. Maybe I feel that there's an opportunity to duck here. Maybe I pull a little bit. When he steps up, boom, duck. But I'm just gonna keep this collar tie and pull him straight down to the mat. I can also lift here, which I'm gonna show again at the end of the video, but I'll show you guys this again. Right here. I'm pulling. Just like that. Yeah, that's like the first probably duck under you're gonna learn. Show you another angle, right? I'm pulling down. I can do outside step, boom, duck, head comes blocking behind the armpit, and I circle and come on top. One more time from this angle. All right, I'm here, I'm pulling. He brings his body up, big step, head comes up, blocking that tricep. I'm just pulling down, hands to the mat. Next one's gonna be from the open. So just reach, as I reach with that hand. Right, I'm here, ducking just like that. Now, with this one, you're normally looking for a reach. So we're from the open, I'm going here, I'm just looking for that, right there. So I'm moving around here, looking for that, yep. Right when that happens, a lot of times this is done with an outside step because I have to travel a lot of distance. And like I said, with the double knee drop, you normally need to pull the upper body. Like you're not gonna double knee drop through enough space, you're not gonna travel enough distance. But with outside step, boom, fix that position and finish. If you're done with the other side too, you're moving here, boom, I can tap here, boom. So with the outside step, again, we go low, high. I'm here, okay, motion in here, good. And then hips in, pivot around. Especially with that one, you're probably gonna have to tack a double leg after. Again, we'll show the details at the end of this video because they're not falling into you, right? If you're in a tie-up and you're building up pressure and they're pushing into you, sometimes you can duck and they'll fall right to their hands and you end up just covering on top. But from the open, most of the time, they're not gonna have that pressure into you, so you'll a lot of times come here and then come to a double leg or a high crotch afterwards. Now, we can also duck under when our opponent grabs our wrist. A great way to get your opponent to grab the wrist is posting their head. So I'm here, I post, and come right there. Again, I'm here, I post, and I come right there. Now let's break this down a little bit more. You can hit it right when they grab your wrist, right? Post, again, and this is gonna be like an outside step type of footwork here. I'm gonna roll my arm by, take a big step with my outside foot, and pull this arm. I gotta yank this really fast, because the last thing you want is the person to continue to have your wrist and you're here stuck in a position where your arm's trapped. So when you're here, big windmill motion, big outside step, fix that positioning. Your right hand normally will attack the far hip and you'll pivot around. Again, we can do misdirections with this. say if my partner just grabs my wrist here, I can step right and attack that like a single leg almost. Here, duck here, come there, right? All the same fundamental concepts apply. I'm here, I drop here, I'm here, pivot. Right, what is the right hand doing? It's posting, it's attacking the hip, okay? Or it has a tie on the opposite side. I can do it with my right hand, right? He grabs, I can even go misdirection all at the same time, right? I can come here, here, okay? Gable Stevenson shows, you know, if you can get, actually we'll show this later, both wrists, but if they have both wrists on you, we can duck under either side, right? We can misdirection each side, boom, boom. Okay, but because they have your wrist, be very aggressive with your windmills because you don't want your wrist to get stuck and to be in a position where you can't finish the takedown. Next time we can hit a duck under is from an overhook. Now, I didn't put this in my overhook manual because I've never seen it before until studying for this video, but I've seen this move work. It is a little bit dangerous, I would say, because you could get your arm stuck, but you're already in an overhook, which is not a great position to be in the first place. So my partner has an underhook. I'm building some pressure up. I'm whipping there, okay? So one, you need pressure for sure. And two, the key detail with it from the overhook position is you need to make sure this underhook slips out. So how I'm gonna do that is by windmilling my hand like this and putting my hand in my back pocket and then slipping my arm free. Obviously, it's gotta be quick and be able to rip that free. I guess I'll show you from the back part. So I'm here. Yeah, we'll show it from here actually. So I'm here, maybe I build some pressure up. All right, I can go double knee drop, doesn't really matter. Hand swings, and it needs to come here and break through there to pivot. Okay, I'll do it a little bit quicker, like so it makes more sense. I'm building some pressure up. I can even like post, like we said, rip it down there, come on top. Now, like I said earlier, you can do it from when you have your opponent's wrist. Learn this from Gable Stevenson. He likes to grab the wrist with reverse grips. The reason being is because when you duck, your hands end up being on the inside and they don't get caught. Hands on the outside do leave you to getting caught. Okay, so your hands are reversed, it slips through and you have inside control. Essentially, this is outside control, that's inside control, right? So you can do it with one, you can do it with two, but all you need to do is have their wrist. Okay, I would definitely feel like I'd use a misdirection for this one because with the wrist, it's hard to build pressure up. Like, this doesn't build pressure. Now with stuff like underhooks, you can push in. With collar ties, you can push in. With wrists, you can't build that pressure up. So, I mean, you can pull a little bit, but that's not necessary. I think the misdirection is gonna make the most sense for these wrist type of tie-ups. Again, you can have a tie-up with, the other hand can have any tie-up it wants. You can have underhook, we could have inside tie. All right, maybe I step here, give a little bit of a feint, and I'm just opening up, taking an outside step shot here, boom, and coming there. If we have both wrists, we can always, fake here, boom, fake, go here. Okay, it can post on my head, right? I could peel, just ducking through those positions just like that. Now, the last one I'm gonna show you guys is a super duck. I kind of already touched on a super duck, which essentially was the one from the open here. But this one's gonna be a little bit more from space. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna shoot like I'm hitting a low level attack to his left leg in this case, maybe like a low single. And then what happens is they'll lean over you. Now, if he just sprawls away and goes to his knees, it's not gonna be there. But if I'm from space, maybe I'm dancing a little bit on him, posting, faking. Now I'm gonna go here like I'm shooting. When that knee hits, or even before it hits, I'm gonna change directions. So the hand that's not posted, my left hand, is gonna do a big windmill, and I'm gonna step up through there and take another penetration step. So I was here, I need to step again to cover that distance. So I'm here, just like that. Again, I'm here. The toughest thing with that is closing the gap. So, and staying close to the body, right? Those are some of the fundamentals I talked about. If I'm giving too much space, it's gonna be easy for him to counter this shot. So make sure when I'm coming here, boom, I'm stepping close to the body. I'm in this position to score the points. I'm not way out here where he can circle and face me. Now, last thing we're gonna move on to is how to finish these techniques. We talked about going to leg attacks. There's throws we can do, but I'm gonna go through the various finishes right now. First I'm gonna show you guys is a crotch lift. Gotta be gentle with my partner though, you know what I mean? But this normally happens from that inside tie, collar tie position. We pull, we open, we drop. Okay, I keep this collar tie tight. My other hand is gonna go hug the leg. I'm gonna stand up to a squat position where my hips are enclosed. Lift up on the leg and pull down on the head. Bring him over to his back. One more time with that one. So I'm here, I pull, I duck, grab the leg, squat your hips in, lift, pull down on the head, up on the arm to finish. Next way to finish these duck unders is from leg attacks. Doesn't matter what duck under I have. Say I'm here, build some pressure up, right? So anytime I'm hitting these ducks, especially when I don't have a tie up on the opposite side. So say I just have like an elbow tie or something. You know, I'm coming here, I wanna come to this double leg. Wrap these legs up, okay? Now, if you have a tie on the opposite side, you can keep it and just pull down on it, right? So say I have, you know, double inside tie, doesn't really matter. I open and duck, just pull down on that tricep and finish the penetration step. So we ended here, right? Just switch knees, cover the waist. All right, we're here, step, just cover here, okay? You can do it from, you know, let me think, collar tie like we did earlier, okay? I'm here, I duck here, just pull down, finish the penetration step. Now this is more common in Greco-Roman because they're standing up more. It's very uncommon in folk style and freestyle to get a duck under where you're both on your feet and you stay here. In Greco-Roman, you're wrestling a little higher, so this position happens more often. But if you're in a, we'll say, you know, it could be inside tie, most of the time the opposite side will have an inside tie because when you come through for this duck under, this hand's gonna trap, my hand's gonna trap his arm to his body. So say I'm here and I duck under here, this hand's normally in an inside tie, I can just bring my posture up, lock my hands with a gable grip, and you can do a lot of different things with this, right? I could lift and throw him over my head, I could just bring him back to his back, bear hug. I'll show you one of the techniques. I'm not gonna throw him over my head, but you know, I'm here, inside tie, maybe elbow, maybe a head's on this side, doesn't really matter. I fake, I come here, lock, squeeze tight, step. I can bring both knees, just pull them back to the mat, finish. I also have a body lock tutorial on the overhook video if you guys wanna get into more detail on that. So that's all I got with the duck under video. Let me know what you guys wanna see next. I'll see you guys in the next video.